Cleetus McFarland finished 35th at Nashville Superspeedway, 6 laps down. A spin in turn 4 on the final lap of stage 1, just when it looked like he was about to pull off something special. A pit road penalty that cost him even more ground. A night that on paper looks like a disaster. And then Dale Earnhardt Jr. walked up to his window after the race, leaned in, and asked him one question. "Are you dizzy from spinning around so much?" Cleetus looked back at him and said, "Yes." And Dale Jr. said, "Yeah, this has happened to everyone. So keep doing your thing." That moment on pit road at Nashville last night tells you everything about where this story actually stands. Because Cleetus McFarland is not going anywhere, and the people who matter most in NASCAR are starting to pay very close attention. To understand why last night was significant despite the result, you have to understand what Cleetus walked into. He arrived at Nashville Superspeedway 1 month removed from a stunning second-place ARCA finish at Talladega, where he nearly won in a dramatic finish. That result had given his entire fan base genuine hope that the Nashville race could produce something special. But right from the start, the circumstances were stacked against him. Qualifying at Nashville got rained out, which meant Cleetus started dead last in 38th position. The exact same situation he found himself in at Rockingham back in April. Dead last again, starting at the back of a field full of professional drivers who have been doing this their entire lives in a car. He has barely had time to learn on a track that rewards experience above almost everything else. What happened in the first stage was actually encouraging. Cleetus said he had a great first stage, and that all they did was gain positions. It felt like they were passing guy after guy. He climbed from 38th all the way up to 29th. He was running lap times comparable with drivers in the top 15. Think about that for a second. A YouTube content creator in just his second NASCAR O'Reilly Series start, having started dead last, was keeping pace with drivers who have been racing at this level for years. His RCR teammate, Jesse Love, was leading the race and actually tried to help Cleetus stay on the lead lap, pushing him past another car to keep him in 29th position heading into the final lap of the stage. It was a teammate looking out for a rookie who was fighting hard to hold his position. For a moment, it looked like Cleetus was going to make it. Then came turn 4. Just as Cleetus and Logan Bearden were coming out of turn 4 battling for the lucky dog position on the final lap of stage 1, the number 33 car went around a spin. Right there on the last lap when everything was on the line. He had been fighting Bearden hard for that lucky dog spot, refusing to give an inch, and the car got away from him at the worst possible moment. Jesse Love lapped his teammate in mid-drift on the way to a dominant Stage 1 victory, a moment that went viral on social media almost immediately and perfectly captured the chaotic energy of Cleetus McFarland's Nashville night. But here is the part that matters. He kept going. He didn't park it. He didn't radio in frustration and start making excuses. He got the car straightened out and got back to racing. That became a theme of the entire night at Nashville because the challenges kept coming one after another. Later in the race, Cleetus pitted and drove off when his car fell off the jack, dragging the jack with him out of his pit stall. NASCAR immediately flagged it as a pit road infraction, which it absolutely was, and sent him back to pit lane to serve a drive-through penalty. More laps lost, more ground given up, more adversity stacked on top of adversity. And through every single bit of it, Cleetus told those watching along via his onboard camera, "I ain't going to give up. I'm going to figure this out." That line got clipped and shared everywhere because it sounded exactly like what Cleetus McFarland has always been. Someone who refuses to quit no matter what the situation looks like. He finished stage 1 in 30th, 1 lap down, slipped to 35th and 2 laps down in stage 2, and ultimately crossed the line in 35th place, 6 laps down at the end. On paper, that is a rough result, but the story of what actually happened during those 188 laps is considerably more interesting than the finishing position suggests. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was at Nashville in his role as a broadcaster for Amazon Prime, and he had been watching Cleetus all night. After the race, Jr. walked straight over to the number 33 car on Pittsburgh Road. The cameras caught the whole exchange. He leaned into the window and delivered the dizzy line, which got a big reaction from everyone watching the live stream. But what came after the joke was what mattered. Cleetus later described the full exchange. Dale Jr. told him that this has happened to everyone, so keep doing your thing. Encouragement from the son of the greatest driver in NASCAR history, delivered on pit road in front of a live camera audience, after a night that included spins and penalties and 6 laps down. That is not nothing. That is Dale Earnhardt Jr. putting his credibility behind a guy he genuinely believes in. And Jr. backed that up publicly at the winner's press conference afterward. Earnhardt said Cleetus was way better at Nashville than he was at Rockingham, and that he will keep on getting better. He acknowledged the learning curve is steep and real. He said Cleetus knows he has a long way to come before he can really find the speed to perform, and that his ARCA opportunities are incredible chances for him to continue improving as a driver. But then he said something that carries significant weight coming from someone with Jr.'s background and credibility. He said he has gotten to talk to Cleetus when the cameras are off, and that he truly just wants to come in here and not be the story for all the wrong reasons. That matters, because there are plenty of people in NASCAR who think Cleetus is just a publicity stunt chasing views. Dale Jr. is saying something completely different. He's saying the guy is genuinely invested in getting better and genuinely humble about how much work it takes. In his own post-race comments, Cleetus was upbeat and optimistic, saying the on-track part went a lot better besides the one spin. But that pit road was where he learned a lot. That kind of self-awareness is exactly what serious drivers sound like after a hard race weekend. Not making excuses, not pointing fingers, identifying what went wrong, acknowledging it clearly, and talking about it like a lesson rather than a complaint. Now, here's the context that the finishing position completely hides. Cleetus McFarland started his NASCAR journey at Daytona in ARCA in 2025 and finished 41st, dead last. It was his first serious crack at NASCAR-level racing, and it was humbling in public. And he showed up the next week anyway. He came back in 2026 and finished 11th at Daytona in ARCA, then 4th in the ARCA East race at Rockingham, then 2nd at Talladega in a race he nearly won. The trajectory is real, and it is pointing in one clear direction. And his O'Reilly Series results, 32nd at Rockingham and 35th at Nashville, don't reflect that trajectory because he's been starting dead last both times in a much more competitive field with significantly less experience. The fact that he's fighting for lucky dog positions in Stage 1 while running lap times comparable to the top 15 tells a different story than the finishing position does. What makes this journey unlike anything NASCAR has seen before is the audience watching it happen in real time. Thousands of people were watching Cleetus McFarland's in-car camera on YouTube Live during the Nashville race, tracking every spin and every lap and every radio call as it happened. When the car fell off the jack on pit road, the chat exploded. When he spun in turn 4, the reactions came pouring in within seconds. This is not how NASCAR fans have ever consumed a race weekend before. Nobody was watching the in-car feed of the 35th place finisher in the O'Reilly Series at Nashville on a Saturday night. Nobody except the hundreds of thousands of people who follow Cleetus McFarland and have decided they want to see every single moment of this journey regardless of where he finishes. That audience is exactly what NASCAR has been trying to build for a decade. Young fans, car culture fans, people who had never watched a NASCAR race in their lives until a guy they follow on YouTube started driving one. And they aren't casual observers, either. They are invested. They know his car number. They know his team. They know his crew chief. They know that his next race is coming up at Michigan International Speedway in the Truck Series on June 6th. They are following this story the way devoted NASCAR fans follow their favorite drivers. Music Richard Childress Racing gave Cleetus McFarland a contract because they understood this. And what happened at Nashville last night proved they were right to make that bet. Dale Jr. leaning into that